right now. Sonic Wave is there, it's getting low and low. Oh! They've stolen it! Mammoth have got the Baron.
Final game of the evening is imminent, and I am keen to see what happens, mostly because, of course, Pentanet's in the arena. Mammoth, they've showed some promising signs so far as well, and I want to see them try to take on the big dogs, try to show some confidence like we saw coming out from Gravitas last game. That's all I'm really asking for here, Kitty.
So obviously we had a huge upset from Gravitas last game against the super team. I'm not going to be surprised if Mammoth does some sneaky, spicy drafts and take a few kills away from PDG tonight as well.
That could definitely be on the card, so let's talk Mammoth first. Skimmy, tell me about this team. Tell me what we've liked from them so far and what they are looking to improve on.
What I like more than anything, their profile pictures really screams out to us what they're about. They're aggressive, they're not afraid, they're going to stare you down. But from what we've actually seen of their schedule, bit of a rough schedule for these guys, a bit of a welcome to the LCO, if I do say so myself. Up against Chiefs, up against Peace. Yeah, it's not going to get any easier, obviously, up against Pentanet either. So a bit of a hazing for them to sort of get used to what life is like up here. But in terms of the compositions themselves, I feel like they have a solid read on what is meta and what is going to work for them. That's always the big question for these near teams. Don't try and juggle too much at once. Yes, patches will change, but ideologies of poke or engage or globals will always remain true. I feel like they've sort of stuck true to that in a way. They've also got some of their comfort picks. I know a lot of people are going to be looking at that mid lane and thinking, is he going to play the Veigar? We've seen it already today. Would not be surprised to see a few more tricks up their sleeve here, Mac.
Yeah, I definitely would not be surprised, but a team that always is full of fun, full of surprises in Pentanet. So let's bring them up and have a quick look at the lineup. Jumping into today's game, no real changes. Yuri, he's definitely been turning a whole lot of heads so far since he's been here. Bolgan as well is just absolutely popping off. And Winterer, the pickup that a lot of people have been talking about, especially on the podcast, Rust.
Yeah, I mean, Winter is definitely the one to, like, he's the quiet achiever on this team, you would say, and he's also in part a translator for them, right? Given he is effectively bilingual, and Balkan and Yuri have been speaking a lot of Korean to one another.
Yeah.
And I've got my gripes with this team, and it's not just the social media manager that I've got my gripes with, Mac. I know that we argue every day on socials, but Balkan and Yuri have been stealing my LP all week, and I'm sick of it.
Well, hopefully it's for a reason. Maybe you are the practice for him to just completely gap Mammoth today, and you can own some of his practice for the week. Now, Kitty, I'm sure you've been around, you've played a couple of games with a lot of these players as well. Now, are there any little tidbits of knowledge that you can throw out there for us?
So obviously they started on fresh accounts given by Riot. They were bullying gold players. It was really sad, but they eventually got to, I believe, OCE Masters GM ELO, and I haven't seen much of Yuri, but speaking of Balkan, he's been absolutely dominating solo queue. I think he is probably one of the best junglers queuing up for solo queue right now. Yuri, I don't know as much, but I have seen them duo, and they were absolutely stomping people in gold, and probably plat, but I didn't see much.
Well, I'm glad I didn't climb too quickly then, you know, that wouldn't have been fun. And Rusty's just getting absolutely destroyed by Kitty.
Placements, man. I'm like 10 games in, placed in Plat 1. My next 2 games are literally Balkan Yuri back-to-back, losing in 10 minutes. Team's in shambles, everyone's arguing. It's like, what do you want, man? Like, just surrender. They're too good.
Well, you know, quick congrats to Kitty as well, because I did see you made Challenger during the week. So that's huge. Nice little plat there. But of course, we do have a head-to-head video to quickly have a look at between Mammoth and Pentanet.
Pretty sure it doesn't matter what we do, we will beat Mammoth. I could play top lane and would probably beat Mammoth.
It has to be a clean game by us. Anything less, it's kind of unacceptable.
We can win any game against any team. That's kind of how we're feeling going into it.
We have them gapped across the board. All lanes, you know, go ahead, do their part, get a couple kills, and the game goes smoothly.
Don't underestimate us. We can definitely flip some coins on you guys. If we land on heads, then you guys are going to be pretty embarrassed on Twitter.
Well, if there's any chance for Mammoth going into today, it may have to rely on Pentanet not having a good day in the office. Maybe miscommunication being an issue, maybe look, I'm grabbing at straws. It's going to be extremely hard for Mammoth to win this game, but there could just be some more 1%ers out there. Skimmy, are you one of those 1%ers? No? Not at all. Okay.
No.
Well,
I saw a lot of 1%ers last game, but I think you can only use up that luck so much in one night.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Now, there's two lucky individuals down on the side lanes. Kitty, you want to go have a chat to them?
Yeah, so for the last game, I've grabbed Rogue and Voice for the interview.
Hey guys.
Hello guys, last match of the night. So Rogue, starting with you, you guys had well, I interviewed you in week 1. You were super confident in terms of the team's skill, but you guys did lose against PCE. Was there a change in mentality after that?
I think we worked at draft. I think we got draft capped. I think we all finished the game and went, oh, Corky's actually broken, but no one realized. Like, we really did give them like the absolute nuts. Like, it was it. They had pocket aces, and we were just completely sent.
Yeah,
But
Corky is quite broken right now. That's okay.
Yeah.
We do a little bit of trolling, as people say. So we did see you draft Rel to counter Pieces bot lane, which was a Jinx Lulu at the time. So Rel currently isn't popular in the competitive meta. What was your reasoning behind it?
I mean, like, you give them Jinx Lulu, you got to get on them. So I was like, all right, pick me Rel, boys. Like, we were gonna get a bunch of dive, but then we just decided, like, how fun would it be to play Renekton Ilia right now? So we just did. I don't know. It was a bit of shambles. We'll just say miscom in the language barrier, and we'll just go next. But
It's okay, because tonight is a brand new game. So moving on to Voice. You just played your first week in the LCO. What adjustments have you made with the team to prepare for upcoming weeks?
I think the first thing we worked on quite a bit is we realized that we can't just run our heads at people in these sort of games. Teams will stop us from just running at them. They will not make the same mistakes that a lot of other teams make when we have played against them before. So we've tried to settle down quite a lot. We really have looked to just try and slow down games, look to play vision, play invade, and make small plays rather than just win the game off 2 or 3 huge plays.
Yeah, and my next question is, I caught you playing some Zeri games in solo queue. What are your thoughts on the new AD carry?
I think she's pretty good. She doesn't really do a whole lot of damage, but she's kind of Sonic the Hedgehog every game perma, so she's really fun to play. You just run around at Mach 10 speed and just hope that you don't get hit by anything, and then you're just laughing, and then your team loses the game. FF.
Is there a chance that you might pick Zeri and make the enemy FF?
No, because she's not enabled until week 3.
Alright, yeah. Okay, well, I'll be excited for you about picking Zeri, and thanks for the interview, guys, and best of luck in your match.
look, brother.
My Voice. I love how he waves. He's
So cute.
enthusiastic to get into these interviews, and I'd love to see a bit of Zeri from him going into next week. Of course, not enabled this week, so we'll see how it plays internationally going forward. But for now, of course, we're staying domestic. We're looking at this, and I just want to point out, I'm disappointed that Rogue instantly played the language gap miscoms card just because they were having a bit of fun last week. So that's what they put it down to.
I just
and
heard shambles being used on repeat. I thought, you don't get much more Australia than that, do you?
Very good. A solid interview coming through from you there, Kitty. Now, of course, we've got to talk about what our thoughts are for this game, what the predictions are. And look, I am going to be surprised if anyone went for Mammoth.
Yeah,
Oh.
right, yeah, I would be shocked.
Absolutely shocked.
If Matt
Not too
goes for an
sure
underdog.
where that came from.
Oh.
Yes.
But I'm
What's
one
the
up,
angle,
I'm
Mac?
one eye, I'm going, I didn't think, I just
What's the angle?
I clicked a button.
Ah.
They're like, hey, what's your prediction? And I said, I lined it up. I typed Mammoth, but I closed my eyes and then I corrected it, and then I acted like I didn't know what I spelled. But here we are. I'm giving them a shot. You know, why not? Because Pentanet, they've already been overseas. They've been to MSI last year. Give someone else a go. Hey, is Mammoth the team to do it? Maybe. I think so. Rusty, what are your thoughts?
If Mammoth have had their chance overseas, Mac, Mammoth have had a shot. 2019
Very
split
true.
one. They had their chance. Let's get someone else in because they really don't have a chance in this one. Let's put it that way.
Okay, well, we said that earlier about Gravitas, remember, and then Gravitas showed us what they were made of. So maybe Mammoth, they've learnt from last week. They're one of these teams they're going to develop throughout the weeks. So you got to give them a shot. You got to give them an extra % a week. So by the time we get to playoffs, if they make it to playoffs, we're looking at how many games? 21. They're in with a shot, but 21%. That's like upset potential. Good upset potential, Skimmy.
Yeah, plenty of potential, right? I just don't see it in this game, Mac. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I hate to be boring. I think at the moment, I think we said it last week as well, I think our predictions for the most part were all super competitive. We all want to look like we had the biggest brain. Play-by-plays, analysts, sideline reporters, who is the biggest? Well, right now Kitty is because she's smurfing in Challenger. But that aside, maybe by week 3, 4, 5, 6, we're counting. That's how you do. Maybe things will change by then. We're stalling time, but you know what? That's what we do. Here we are.
Yeah, well, look, if we are to see anyone have a rough game in the office from PGG, is it going to be Praedith again? Because he had a rough game last week, right, Kitty?
I don't think he has played the best to his potential in his recent games, which is, it's fine because you got Yuri and Balkan and Winter smurfing it up in the top side. But I expect Praedith to do well in at least tonight's match, or else you just have no excuses. You're just gonna, Twitter is just gonna keep making fun of you. You got this.
Yeah, well, Voice was confident, so that, of course, is going to be one of his opponents down in the bot lane. And look, over at mid, there's a chance for Fury to have another crack. But of course, Rocco, he's one of those players as well, where we just love looking at his player cam. So no matter what he's doing, he's just great to look at, right, Rusty?
Yeah, he certainly has maybe the most exceptional hair in esports. I'm just going to summarize all of esports. It's powerful, man. Like that's some good hair. It's saying that I actually, like, if I was to pick a place where Mammoth could maybe attack PGG, it would actually still be Voice, right?
Yeah,
like, I actually think he's probably the player to do it. Not even looking at Praedith, like, in that account. Just looking at Voice, I feel like he's the player on Mammoth that I have expectations for, like, I guess, carrying the most.
Well, look, I heard that you wanted to look at Voice. You wanted to look at Rocco. And fortunately, game is ready. Champ Select is live. Let's jump into it.
Well, let's look at them all, Mac, because we're not picky, we're not fussy. We want to see all the action, all the exciting things, the possibilities, and the potential to close out day one, really, of our week 2 opener here for the LCO. We're well into the draft with bans down and picks locked in, and has Pentanet just hit Exodia?
Yes.
Okay.
Next question. My God. Okay, so PGG, like, we just jump into this. We're already got two picks in. Corky's first pick, Tryndamere is the response. That's like, that is a known thing, right? You know what usually goes with the Tryndamere, Skimmy? One of their own bands, the Diana. So instead of playing Diana Tryndamere, which I will add is good mixed damage, provides AP in the jungle, they have said, Tron, you are playing a magic damage top laner. There is no exceptions to this rule. Do your best. And so now if I was PGG and I was really drafting to win, I'd be banning AP top laners, get rid of some of the obvious ones. You've got your cannons, etc. And then you just have a winning top matchup, right? Or Winter just picks Gragas, and it doesn't matter what you play.
Yeah.
He's a Gragas.
That's the concern, right? That, he might just pick a champion and a weak side it up and say, throw everything at me. It doesn't matter. My Gragas has 1v2 that gets kills. It does not really matter what you throw my way. I'm curious to see what these bans represent. Mammoth clearly feeling like it's going to be a protection avenue for this Jinx, and Pentanet also saying bot lane supports are the focus. So if it's not the Tahm Kench, it may in fact be the Nautilus, and Mammoth will have a ton of CC at their disposal.
Surprising that Rocco didn't go for the Yuumi, given that that is what he plays the most of. But Senna was already there, so you don't get much of a choice. And look, he's got his cat ears on. It's a bit weird that he didn't go for it.
Sure.
Nevertheless, we know that Rocco is a Braum Yuumi player, and it's funny to see it's on the other side this time around. But they get rid of the Lulu, they get rid of the Karma.
It's all coming together.
They play Nautilus. Instead of into the Enchanters, they ban them and pick Nautilus. It is a free Braum angle. It is definitely a free Braum angle. You've got a Viego, you've got a Tryndamere that want to dive.
Oh.
You've got a Nautilus that wants to dive. Braum's happy, and I mean, that's the magic damage that had to happen, right?
Well, there's Vladimir, our second one of the LCO. It feels weird to say that, really, that we're seeing Vladimir crop up this highly in consideration, but quite right, they needed some AP. This seems to be the matchup that goes towards it with last time us seeing a Vladimir take on a Gragas, but it's a bit of a bigger ask this time. Winter, he's pretty good on that champion, isn't he?
Yeah, I have it on good authority that Winter is a very good top laner, and is also very good on the Gragas. We saw him playing outstandingly, given no resources even being played towards by his opponents. He made it work, he got those solos, that was the Kanga game. This time around, possibilities for PGG to play really anywhere on the map. If Braum is active with a Lee Sin, they could play all 3 lanes. Right now, as the game starts, we're just looking for Belkan to be hyper-aggressive. If there's one thing that we know that Belkan and Yuri are, it is aggressive. And I didn't know that Yuri plays the Corki, if I'm going to be honest with you, Skimmy. In my mind, he is a Tryndamere, Yone, Yasuo type of player at all times, right?
Yeah.
But he's able to transition to the Corki this time around, which is an important test in my mind, because it is Mammoth, yes. It is one of the bottom 2 teams right now, and Pentanet should be touted as a top 3 team still. But if he's able to perform mechanically on the Corki, show his proficiency with AP mages, then I think we've got a lot more hope for the diversity of the draft of PG.
One thing we do know for sure, though, is that mid-jungle is going to be incredibly aggressive. And so much so that I'm curious to see how Mammoth play their own 2v2, because you're looking at a Tryndamere and Viego that are very keen to fight, very keen to find resets, clearly, to try and turn the tides of these battles. But it feels a little bit all over the show. I mean, I'm looking at Vladimir that wants time to scale. The same could be said here for the Senna too. Does this mid-jungle look to be that early game ship that could take them to the promised land?
I mean, it kind of has to be, you know? The promised land is hard to get to. I mean, the aggression that came from their draft phase, just straight out of the gates, everything swinging possible. Viego's the play. We're going hard to the paint. I mean, we have to see some early aggression from them.
We certainly do, and we're going to see what happens when David and Goliath take place back-to-back. Pentanet, 1-on-1 so far, but they have been the most early game dominant team we have seen so far. It belongs to them, and it really has been driven by their 2 Korean imports. But there is also star power elsewhere to be found on this roster, and I do believe we've actually got a coach from Pentanet joining us. It's none other than the suave man himself, without the glasses on, mind you. It's Udisov.
Whoa! Hello, fellas. How you doing?
Long time no see. I know it's been a while since you've been in the Rift playing, but how are you finding it as a coach?
Listen, coaching after MSI was pretty hard to get into, but we're getting there slowly but surely, and I'm learning a lot from people actually around the world. I'm getting a lot of tips from a lot of coaches, so I'm grinding, but it's good.
That's what you love to hear. You love to hear. I'll keep it short and simple as we jump into this one. What would the boys say were some of the takeaways from week 1? And given your schedule this week, what would you say the focus is?
All right. The focus this week is pick Corki and close your eyes. That champion is absolutely broken. So tomorrow, please don't ban it. If you do, if you don't, let us first pick it. Don't take it. And if we're red side, yeah, we're going to ban it because it's broken. Other than that, for the rest of the week, yeah, we're just prepping for Chiefs, but Chiefs isn't even this week. We're just prepping for other weeks. Other than that, boys are feeling good. We're feeling good, and I'm just
You're living your best
everything's
life.
good. Yeah, I'm living my best life.
Ah, I love to hear that. Well, get some rest. I know you've had a busy schedule elsewhere, so we're going to crack on with this game. But pleasure talking to you as always, mate. And yeah, talk
it's
soon.
a pleasure. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
I love that, though. You know, the sights are already set on next week, and we've only just started.
We're not even looking at this week, man. We're just looking at Corki. That's it. That's all it takes. And listen, I don't know if he's wrong. Pick Corki, close your eyes. The rest of the team can probably do that as Yuri hits level 16 and 1v9s. In saying that, he is against the Tryndamere, so there is kill threat early, right? Every Corki lane, it starts rough, it becomes fantastic. Tryndamere definitely one of the better snowballing and punishing champions. Not so much for the first 3 levels of the game or anything, Skimmy. There's not going to be an immediate solo kill, but the side lane threat that a Tryndamere provides means it's almost impossible to play at a certain point. Strategically, right, you've got a Vlad in a side lane, you've got a Tryndamere that'll be in a side lane. Trynd is the one actually taking turrets, getting dives and being played towards. That's kind of the way that you expect this one to play out if you were Mammoth.
Interesting to see if they actually can find those openings on the map to utilize that split push and not get baited into a false sense of having to match this Corki and go for those fights and drawn into the ever frustrating package that just basically states this objective belongs to us, so this team fight is default to us too. We'll see how they play. But certainly an opportunity for them to perform here. As you say, yeah, Rocco in the bot lane, copying a bit of a beating.
So this is also, I want to say it's a pretty free scaling lane for a center as well. Braum's not one of those champions that's going to actively punish you too hard. Rocco even trying to freeze the wave there, which is really the thing that was of note. And Mayfan also just going to say hello to Yuri and walk him away, but the vision's already placed. Scuttle Crab is the play from him more than anything else, and there's 3 people here to secure the Scuttle Crab. It's free, mate. Don't worry about it. It is yours. Lee sends it Krugs. Bot lane also going to reset. So for Mammoth right now, it is just a full first clear. Pretty standard stuff from them across the board. Looking at the runes, there is a bit of difference between centers today. This is the approach velocity and Vickies that you expect from your standard center build. Again, right, you hit the Q, they're slow, you chase them down faster. It's less reliant on like a fleet footwork to close distance. But also, is it necessary, right? In a free lane is the question.
May just boil down to preference, as simple as that sounds. See, both supports have an inkling that something might break out here in the mid lane. Both not willing to truly reveal themselves just yet, but definitely giving these AD carries a bit of free farm.
Yeah, Rocco, I think he just resets because he has free time towards mid, which like it's just standard for a support, right? You get on the map, you don't walk straight to bot lane. Usually any support that walks straight to bot lane has a purpose. Flash. Okay, I like that from Rogue, the killer instinct. Punishing the fact that Rocco just walks mid and reveals himself, you know? Like, the main point there is if you're going to show yourself as the support on the map in mid, it's probably because you're trying to make a play or you're like holding a wave or you're applying a pressure point. Rocco's pressure point there was literally just saying, "G'day, check out my cat ears." And then his bot lane of flashes. So it's not ideal.
Cam's enabled in game. That could be the future right there. Better voice comms, but maybe the tech is there. Tell you what though. Volkan's in the area. He's not looking for any first blood just yet. He just wants to run this map. Rogue jumps in, gets locked in place by the Chompers. Mayfan snuck in. It's going to be a fight that goes in favor of Mammoth to start off with. Instant exhaust onto the Diego, who's just going to get an easy kill. It's first blood towards Rocco. In jumps the Lee Sin, looking for any kind of clapback. Slams the ground. And they'll have reduced attack speed, but they just walk away.
Yeah, and I mean, you know the Braum has no flash, right? So you're able to make that play. All of the summoners now used in bottom lane. Very aggressive, but great pathing from Mayfan with the gank, right? The explosive plant coming in pretty clutch for him. Fury is about to say hello, and then just gets deterred and places a ward on the disengage, but that can also be immediately swept by a rogue, so it's not actually a good ward. Just free experience and money to the side of PGG. Do they contest the Drake? Velkan too low, I think, Skimmy.
Yeah, he's quite low, isn't he? He has a flash if he wants to go for this one. Is he going to flip it? No. Holding his nerve. First Drake goes the way of Mammoth. And double crab as well.
Scuttle Crab supremacy belongs to Mayfan. Also just the gank that was down there. And, you know, that was just PGG being second to the play. They managed to bring down a Corki after a teleport, though. And this is just pushing into reset, I feel like, as well, for Voice's sake. I don't want to get pressured in this 2v2. Mayfan, unfortunately, is going to be wasting a bit of time here. So you can see the assist pings go towards his own red buff. But Fury, with the ward that he wasted earlier, is not going to be able to just place a ward and go back to lane. He has to actually put his face in it.
Yeah, red buff is still there. Don't have to worry about that one just yet. As he goes back to the lane to pick up all of that farm. 93% of you believe that this is a done deal here for Pentanet. I would agree. But will we see the same levels of chaos like we saw in the previous matchup?
Hey, take note, Mammoth currently ahead in gold, 8 minutes in. Is this the run?
Oh, that's the step.
I can't help it with Mammoth.
It's the yearly thing, isn't it?
It's the first step.
It really is.
Get the gold lead, hold the gold lead. Praedyth Rogue walk towards mid. Just a bit of free time, like we highlighted for Rocco earlier, but they want to go back to bottom as the wave crashes. You can see that Praedyth shows respect because Rocco is this time invisible. They don't know the whereabouts of the Viego. But it's not going to stop them from taking 3 objectives. They got a Corki package, man. Also, low-key best Corki skin and Chroma combined. The pink Chroma is goated.
I'm a big fan of the spaceship one.
Spaceship one's good, but like it doesn't have a Corki butt that wiggles when it floats in the air.
True.
Like that's not. It looks like it's swimming, man. You can't contest that.
Pretty
Space one's
tilting if you lose to it as well, I'm sure.
Doesn't even use the package.
No.
Lets it dwindle and disappear.
Yeah, no real wave to burn or play to be made. It was a pretty free Herald for them. Looks like Mammoth were able to find a turret plate in bot lane as a result of that trade. They actually got a nice little lead at the start here, don't they?
Yeah, they actually do have a pretty good lead overall. Top lane super stable, Kimmy, which is important. The Vladimir wants to scale. Gragas also starting tier, so it's not too surprising that it's stable, but it's not an Ignite Zoranus diving at level 6 Vladimir.
Sure.
It is just, you know, bread and butter farming League of Legends up there. We also haven't seen any hyper-aggressive Balkan moves just yet, it feels like. He's been pretty stable himself overall. This is the first moment where he might have a Herald to summon, but even if he summons it here, they got to kill first.
Yeah, well, are they going for the dive? The Hemoplay comes out nice and early. Oh, no.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, no. Tron the Pom is insane.
Yeah, I mean, Gragas engages, has the ultimate at the start of the combo, but it's not a flash body slam. It's not a body slam into an ultimate. They try and fade away it, but Tron's ready. You know, he's got the puddle. He'll buy time. He doesn't need to flash from the get-go. He's able to survive the initial combo, and that's it, right? Like, that was 100% a kill confirmed from Winsra during the Lee combo, if you want to secure that one.
Uh-oh. I've seen this before. He just got run down.
Tryndamere is a bit of a specimen. The Lee Sin shows himself top lane. That opens the gates. Gragas casks here. That guy is dead, is he not? Winsra decides that that's not for him. He wants to be more stylish and goes for a fadeaway. And unfortunately, it wasn't an explosion. He should have looked at it. And mid got soloed.
The super team curse continues.
Did we call PGG a super team?
I would say they are, let's be honest.
They're certainly a team.
I know we definitely put a lot of emphasis on the Chiefs. I don't know if we'd put Peace in that category, perhaps. But I think you'd definitely make an argument for Pentanet and certainly for Order 2.
I just want to, like, I'm not going to have the opinion. We'll let the Herald charge here first because there might be a fight. Rocco, yeah, it's
nice. Beautiful. Flash forward to guarantee the kill. Yuri's is gone. Sweet dreams. Easy soul there for Mayfun. Mammoth, they run this game.
No, but that's like super greedy from Yuri as well, right? He tries to, I think he wanted the plate gold from the Herald summon. He chooses to walk up for it, uses the W to try and disengage, and there's just a flash Nautilus readily available. You have no flash to dodge it. So good play from Mammoth. Again, compliments to their play. They're doing the correct things, but that's so greedy from PGG.
Yeah. What I'm really excited for now is having a lead. How do Mammoth utilize it? What do they put their attention towards? Is it to dominate this
Side lanes,
objective
100%.
game?
I mean, I don't think there is any contest that Refury should be just sitting, like, they need to plop their mid lane or into a side lane and watch him solo kill anyone that shows up.
Sure.
I think that is, yeah.
What I see, like, them very clearly going to get a very early soul point, so you're going to run the map in that regard too, right?
Yeah, you probably put the Tryndamere bottom if you're playing for teleports. So the issue with that is if you're obviously going to be playing for Drakes, I think right now is the time in the game where you consider changing up lane assignments, right? Mixing up the game. If that's a Mythic that's going to be online for Tryndamere, it must be close. 13 minutes in, he's got 2 kills. He's almost perfect farm. He's a couple hundred off. There's a tragic recall from him, actually. But once he's got that, yeah, like right now, this is a moment where he can go top lane. Because you've got, you know, 2.5 minutes to work with before the dragon becomes a point of contention. And if Gragas is up here, then Gragas is in a very distant place from the rest of the team. And even the Gragas is at risk because it's an AP build.
Where was this
Fury
earlier
wins
today, wasn't it? I mean, Appy just says, you know, I just pick whatever I want because I can. But this time we do get the AP Gragas. It's going to be very, very squishy. And I mean, I asked, you know, would this mid-jungle be the way to get towards the promised land? So far, so good. They have both really been the go-to players that have started things off and found success with it.
So just for everyone to really understand what Yuri is presumably thinking there is that there's no current play for Herald for PGG. If they're going to make a play for Herald, they don't want the package for it. It'll be just like a good pick that transitions into something more. That package is staying for Drake. Because if you wait... So it's going to be for Herald. If you wait for the Drake, then it will spawn every time the Drake spawns, right? So you're showing clear intent. But I think waiting 3 minutes is a very long amount of time. I think this is PGG saying we want the Herald, we want the gold, right? We want to actually still use the lead. Gold swung back in their favor just quietly during all of this from Jinx pushing top lane. This does open up the Drake win condition, however, for Mammoth. We don't need to fight a package Corki right now.
From the pond, he's locked in bot lane right now. Let's just unleash this teleport. Would be ready to go if the fight were to break out, and if it were to be forced here by Yuri. Could have been the package to get back to lane. And Mammoth won't entertain the idea.
Yeah, this is a small thing, but like Mammoth, they don't entertain the fight, but they entertain the idea of a fight, and that's a lot of wasted time. Tron's just going to be pushing bottom lane, so this is the correct play overall. But they're not invading opposite side jungle. They're not doing anything other than standing at the Rift Herald watching PGG do it, which is a pretty standard error that you find in a lot of newer teams or lower bracket teams. Rift Fury still hasn't recalled and has probably got more than a mythic in base. That Gale Force would make this 100%. We'll see how he goes.
Oh, the Ghost is on. It's another kill for sure. Certainly, the Fury is ramping up. Lethal Tempo is there to kill. Does he even need to hit the ult? Sure. Here it is.
Hey, it's for good measure. That was a greedy play from Rift Fury, but he's got so much damage, and that Corki doesn't exist, man.
Look at this buy. This buy is going to be absolutely devastating. What's that, 1.5 items?
Gale Force and a crit item. What's he waiting on? Okay, now all we could see is the word Gale Force.
And the grand reveal. Anytime now.
There, yeah, it's just Gale Force and a crit. So he only really got, he got 1 kill and like 20 CS in that time. But that's the main point here, Skimmy, that I was talking about before. Because Rift Fury was a part of the team that just postured. You know, they just puffed their chest up at the Herald and said, you wouldn't do it. And then PGG just picked up the Corki package and did it. That could actually be time spent, perhaps, elsewhere on the map being more efficient with their time. It works, obviously, and he's still going to be a side lane Titan. They've also brought him to the bottom side of the map as he's meant to be. The issue for PGG is that Corki has to match him if they want the Corki in the fight, because he doesn't have teleport yet. Corki can't match him.
The bot turret is gone.
How doesn't win these, Jimmy?
Herald has to be summoned. Drake up now. Third Drake on the cards here. It's a Hex Tech stole that Mammoth could claim. Mid-tier 1 goes down. Balkan jumps in, looking for a play, trying to buy time whilst Trindamir is on the rotate, but he's here now, and he has a flash, but no ultimate. He just snipes Yuri again! The Corki can't play! The Corgi's dead and gone. And PGG's chances of winning this team fight might be gone too. They've lost 2 so far. Rogue will be the third and final casualty. Rusty. Mammoth win these.
I wasn't lying. That was a Trindamir that still has flash, now has his ultimate back up and available as well. This is going to be the Hextech Soul point. One more Drake from now confirms the soul for Mammoth. And we can confirm that is a 4-0-2 Trindamir mid lane, and that this game is on. This Herald charge in mid is fine. This kick is not. Volcan, I think, wanted to flash kick Voice, but didn't flash. So it's a very awkward start to the fight. Huge cask from Winterer, I will say, but at the moment that he goes for that cask and really breaks apart the team fight, Refury has just spun forwards. Gale Force confirmed the first kill. You know, confirms Viego resets. Very difficult to win a team fight from that point. Praedyth is really trying, but it is a difficult game right now for them to win.
I don't know if you caught it there. As the cask went out, the rocket went straight through the middle and hit absolutely no one.
Okay, well, that's just not synergy. This is like, you know, when Peace played and we saw the Lee Sin Gragas combo and it was synergy, we've managed to get the opposite in this one.
Yeah. Stop the clock, take a screenshot. Maybe rub your eyes a few times. 8-0. Mammoth are putting on a bit of a show so far. And I suppose, Rusty, it spawns a bit of an interesting discussion. How do Pentanet play from behind? And how do Mammoth continue to ensure that this strong start can go the distance?
Yeah, listen, I mean, if you're PGG, you need Gragas to be dealing with the Tryndamere almost at all times in the side lane matchup, right? Or you need to constantly have resources dedicated towards the Tryndamere side of the map. The lane assignments are good right now. Tron the Pom engaged on. He's fine. Again, that is a 0-4 Corki with no items on board yet, so the play's nice. It's good pressure, but look at what Mammoth have to do in response now. They get to play towards their Tryndamere for free. I didn't even get to finish what I think PGG should do, Skimmy, before they do something different. Lane assignments were correct, though.
Yeah. Would it be as condensed and simple as saying stall out for late game levels?
Yes, yes. You get Corki to level 16, give Corki 3 items, you just win those, right? Plain and simple. That's why I think a lot of the win condition for Mammoth is Tryndamere in a side lane. You've got a sick team fight when you bring in a Vladimir, like the later the game goes. Absolutely, right? Drakes are a big focal point. But you don't actually have a strategy that will survive a persistent Tryndamere side.
You can just see by how Winter was playing that from before. As the rocket goes across the map again, trying to steal out a blue buff. Not to be the case. Winter is terrified of playing this side lane though, isn't he? I mean, Tryndamere was not there. He was taking his time to approach that wave.
I feel like we need to really stock take items for the coming Drake fight. So 1 minute 50 seconds until the most important fight of the game for PGG starts. We've got the Ludens just now completed for Yuri. So Manamune is a very cheap item that scales obviously very well when it becomes Muramana. He's got that now finished with the Ludens and the Sork shoes. So this is, while it's a 0-4 Corki, if you actually look at items between mid laners, Yuri is effectively ahead right now. So he's in a comfortable position, but in the most uncomfortable spot on the map.
Oh no. The Ghost, the Gale Force, and the spin to win! Yuri is 0-5.
Yeah.
When did we ever think we would be saying that on a broadcast?
Watch out, Yuri. Here comes Refury. The rest of the team try to collapse, but they get nothing. Baron has been started. Mammoth they can disengage this at any time, and they can just play for Drake still. But they really want to bring Pentanet.gg around the map, and that is what they'll do. Free reset for Refury. Corki getting caught sleeping in side lanes, doing Krugs. I mean, it's great play from Refury, right? He's always positioned at the correct places.
Yeah.
He's punishing very well.
Playing out of his mind. Really is. And they're really pushing the tempo, aren't they, Mammoth, to say that we won't give you that free avenue to the late game where you will be able to outpoke us, where you will be a bit of an issue for us to get one shot and bursted down. We hold all the cards in this game. You yet to get a kill against us.
And I raised the question, Skimmy. Can Yuri play an AP champion? So far, not very promising. But they have got the inside track to the objective. They've got a Corki package. They saved it this time, as you would expect, for the sole point. Mammoth have the choice of playing Baron instead of the Drake if they would like, but as it stands, Praedyth solos this. And Mammoth have made an executive decision that it's not worth going for the sole point in a 5v5 sense. I think this is a risky decision because Praedyth will solo this no matter what. You have to turn, you have to fight, you can't be indecisive if you're Mammoth, and this is rough from them.
It's risky business, isn't it? You can see what this means for PGG. They're happy.
Yeah, that's just winning. They've taken too long. I think Corki package just scared them into submission, Skimmy. They're back to Baron now. Package is gone though, and Jinx is doing Gromp instead of crossing to the fight.
Oh no. We are flipping the biggest burger to close out this night. The Baron closer and closer to smite range. Balkan has flash, has everything available. The rocket goes out early. It drops their health bars low. The pain and punishment from
Mammoth.
afar has put Mammoth in a bit of a precarious situation.
Wrong
Now they're
side
on
of
the
the
run.
map.
They run into the enemy side jungle. PGG utilizing home advantage. Might just let them get out here.
They're just going to go for the top lane in a turret. I mean, it's looking like a snack. They just prepared this one by accident, though. Balkan going to threaten. He only has Winter nearby. Mammoth don't know that. They still want to disengage. There was a world where PGG maybe stopped them from disengaging. They're just going to walk together. They respect it. Praedyth has been an absolute jungle camp goblin for the past, what, 3 minutes of this one?
Oh, he's farming out of his mind, isn't he?
He is farming crazy hard.
It just seems to me like there's one goal in mind for him, and it's I just need to become big. 3, 4 items, whatever it takes. I will do. I'll do it all. 1 kill, 1 reset, and we can rest easy. Because I tell you what, that video we all saw. How many quotes did we get from it? Anything other than a win here is unacceptable. I mean, what did he say? I could play top and we'd win.
Yeah, we're better in every lane. Anything less than perfect is unacceptable, and they haven't got a kill yet. So it was close to being perfect against them, Skimmy. Mammoth, I think, just very, very lost in decision-making, and I don't blame them. The mistake is that they've given Corki. They've played super well into it, right? It is 0-5 and 0. But when Corki picks up a package for the Drake fight, you have to have a strategy. And it is viable to play side lanes, try and force a Corki package through laning, right? You don't have to just walk to the Drake pit, meet them there, handshake the fight. You should have a pressure point come the Drake spawn timing. And unfortunately for Mammoth and for Mammoth fans, that was their moment to actually hard out win the game, right? Like to really pressure the Drake or let the package run out, to play for the Baron with intent. And they just got stuck in indecision. And so PGG they've been gifted time minimum, and that is exactly what they want.
Yeah. Pretty much what we mentioned already. You give them a few items, give them a few levels. Their hyper carries will certainly rise to the call and punish that indecision. It is such a weird script being presented here. You just couldn't ask for something like this to take place. Mammoth fans right now sure are watching with a bated breath, thinking, really, is this going to happen?
I didn't see it coming. I certainly don't think anyone saw this game coming. Besides the confidence that is exuding from Mammoth themselves. We've got 1 minute, 25 seconds again, Skimmy. The game still revolves around the Drake. Mammoth obviously with some priority towards the Baron, as they should. Cycle some vision over there. But you have to respect Praedyth now. Not only is that Corki still at 2 items and, scaling up slowly, doing a lot of damage, as you can see with those rockets. Praedyth has 3. He has a shutdown. The rest of his team, they don't have a kill, and Praedyth has a shutdown from how much farm he has.
Yeah.
If anyone's going to carry this game out, it is a penta angle from Praedyth. And if anyone in the LCO gets a penta, it's Praedyth.
Did it last split. Can he do it again? We've asked him to step up. Week 1, probably one that he'll want to forget. I'm sure even his own social media team that memed him will be thinking the same. Situation like this, he's raised the stakes and no doubt is terrified of the memes that could come about if this result were to go against him. 28 minutes. If anything, Rusty, I think we're guaranteed our first game of the night is going to go past 30 minutes.
Certainly looking that way. Dragon is going to be a big deal here. Of course, 12 seconds till it spawns. Corky picks up that package. It lasts 1 minute. Correct me if I'm wrong there.
Yeah.
You've got 30-odd seconds to wait until it goes away.
They have no idea. Oh, this is so clever. Oh, no, he's been revealed now. He jumps in there with a rocket belt, looking to try and wombo combo them all. Goes golden. Emo play comes out.
Ooh,
but is it enough AoE for them to try and find their kill? Refury jumping straight to the backline. Death charge flash on his head. He's dead. And Refury's out the fight. But now does that mean that PGG can still win this one?
Look at Voice.
Look at that center route.
Praetor.
2 people locked in place. Mayfun, look how many low movers he's got in this side. Flashing forward. There's one soul. He has the ult reset again, but he can't find much more.
No, but Mammoth get it. They can disengage straight to the Dragon. They get the Drake's soul. This is a Hextech soul as well. Effectively a static shiv proc for every member that it slows. It's going to be a big deal. And that was a big flank. You have to talk about it, right? How did Mammoth force the Corky package before the objective? You teleport flank. Yuri has no choice here. If he holds it, I mean, he could have been a bit more patient with it, to be fair. But if he holds the package, he runs the risk of just dying to a full Vladimir combo. Refury sees the Nautilus ult, knows that it's just going to knock Yuri up. He just dies. Rocco hits the hook, flashes away. Voice is smashing them. Praetor comes in and gets a reset, though. And for just a second, just a glimmer, you're like, okay, this is the Praetor angle. But he's staring down a center that is way too strong. So he has to flash his way out. And that also means that Jinx and Corky, Skimmy, are without flash against a Gale Force Tryndamere that is 6-0. This game is in the hands of Mammoth.
Certainly is. It feels like a game, really, where it's theirs to lose, where they need to figure out how they can navigate it. Not feel victim of getting too in their own heads about the situation, what it would entail, what it would send to the league as a whole. I suppose the silver lining of the situation for PGG finding their very first kill is it does go into the hands of that Jinx, most importantly.
I think Mammoth are going to run into this here, though, where they really don't understand the importance of side lane priority and split pushing. Refury has spent so much time grouped with the team when, like, we can all tell. I think we're all aware that he can win a 1v1 against anyone. And so put him in the side lane as a pressure point during waves, actually build side waves. You can bring Tron to the team, you know? There's a real angle where they can do something other than team fight, but they're defaulting to what they know or what they're comfortable in, which is team fighting. It's working. They have the Hex Soul, sure. But I just want that split push from them. It's basically a victory confirmed if they do it properly. Corky packages here is something they have to respect. Oh, bomb, brother.
Baron is there.
Cool.
It's being juggled, getting low. The Mammoth make the right play and they disengage away. The one way it feels like they would lose this game is to a Baron flip.
Look at Praetor, though. They're going to re-engage this Baron. Voice will heal back up from his Q, but Praetor's going to walk mid and end the game if Mammoth don't commit to this now. Hook misses. They're being played for fools.
Rocco in trouble. Glacial Fissure comes out. Submega Death Rocker doesn't confirm a kill. The Baron is still there. It doesn't get stolen. Mayfun secures it. Mammoth at the Baron. Can they now win this team fight? Tron the Pomp goes golden. 2 members low. Lots of AoE cleave goes out, but it is Jinx. They gets the first kill. Corky gets the second. So many shutdowns, but Jinx is dead. Voice finds it. He's still got a flash as well. Oh, and he gets a double. Can he get any more? He falls on down after securing a triple. But the Korean Impulse at the 32-minute mark say maybe, just maybe, we can find something now.
8,000 damage from Yuri in that fight. Level 14, he's not even 16 on this Corky. I mean, honestly, Skimmy, they're looking at an L straight in the face and they still manage to hit the team fight, so mechanics stay solid. Mammoth have defaulted once again to trying the Baron. Hooks are missing, skill shots are going wide. Jinx gets resets. Tron does a really large amount of damage at the start of this one, and Refury wants to get in on the flank here, but he's lost his Fury bar in the way of health, so he may not get that instant crit. And Yuri is just hitting them for that entire 5 to 10 second period that Refury wasn't involved in the fight. Mayfun's still winnable, by the way. Switches to Jinx, has to get back into his form. Also could have transformed into Gragas at any moment there and actually wins that. That's how close that was, Skimmy.
How do you call these team fights? It is so unbelievably close. Mammoth had the Hex Tech Soul. They have it all. But this gold lead has been so close all game long despite it.
From 0-6 to 2-6 and a shutdown is where Yuri's at, by the way. And I cannot stress this enough. And it is becoming a pet peeve of mine. Where is the side lane Tryndamere?
He's on the run now.
There's no, in my mind, you split push for pressure if you want a team fight to win. You still split push for pressure. So it is promising to see them finally set that up a little bit more now, but the cost is like, it's going to be for the Elder Spawn. Baron's off the cards. They've lost the pressure point on the map naturally. And they've given so much time and so much agency to the side of PGG that feels unnecessary, right? Another full item in the hands of both Praedyth and Yuri. They're taking this later and later against the team that I feel like you don't want to have a mechanics max off against.
Yeah. It just feels to me like new faces, same old in some areas, but Pentanet as a brand have always been that late game team, and they're proving it again. They've got the experience, international renowned talent that have managed to keep this close when, quite honestly, we didn't think it would be the case. It shouldn't be the case, but a massive mid lane gap. Fury has abused the matchup phenomenally. Yes, they're not going to find the split push, but it feels like this Elder might just be the decider, Rusty.
Corki 16 has an extra whole item, GA on board as well. It's going to have to be a case of killing him twice. Hextech Soul's still there from Mammoth. They have the Scuttle Crab, and that's a recall from the Vladimir to teleport onto a flank again, and the flank is there. But he's going to get spotted before he gets into the action from the vision that PGG have. It's not an easy flank. It'll get immediately turned on if he's not careful.
Praedyth does have the flash. He also has a GA. Tron the Pom coming on in. That is going to switch their attention
Oh,
towards
it's
him.
on.
Rocco jumps in. There goes the Hemo play. Praedyth in so much trouble. He is the focus right now as Fury, if a dying rage, takes him down into the afterlife, but he dies. He does die. Yuri finds revenge. It's a big shutdown, but 2 kills found by Vladimir. This Vladimir late game is unstoppable. Taking out everybody with a triple kill. Tron the Pom is an absolute beast and does top damage there.
Yeah, that wasn't even a Tryndamere team fight. That was Vladimir doing everything. The thing is, we talk about the Vladimir flank. You know it's there. PGG have vision for it. But I swear they were caught sleeping. They just weren't looking at the Vladimir. He gets a free flank off. He literally proto-belts the wall and does 0 damage with it, but still gets the flank. That Corki rocket. Oh, they're going for the steal.
The steal's on the cards. No, it hasn't been taken. They've lost it. They've lost the smite fight. Oh, no.
Surely with an Elder. Surely with an Elder and a Hextech Soul, they've done enough to convert this into something. They need to set up their lanes first. Their bot wave is pushing against them. Mid is just neutral. We'll reset to a neutral game state. This is Yuri with package. But look at Tron, right? 100% they just didn't pay enough attention to him. How's he flashed the wall and Praedyth just notices as he's flashed? Fury doesn't do much damage, but he pops the GA and gives the resets. Remember, it's a Viego composition. And Vladimir has just tore them asunder. They have just been annihilated by Tron. But they're actually doing it. They're actually doing it, Steven.
Is it happening, chat? Hold me. This is crazy. Week 2. And it might be the biggest upset, I should say. Even I'm stunned and shocked by what I'm seeing right here. It may be the biggest upset we'll see for a long while. But they've come out the gate swinging. Can they just find that final 1%?
I mean, it's not looking like a pick Corki and close your eyes strategy here from PGG. They need their eyes wide open, Skimmy, to have a shot at winning this one. Praedyth, no stopwatch into a Vladimir, into a Tryndamere. All the Mirs, apparently.
Oh, the hook connects, the hook connects. Thorny Shadow goes out, a flash away, Himo Plague. So many people are about to get popped. Oh, that's one gone. Rogue is at the fight. Mayfarn hits the stopwatch, mid inhibitors down. Are they going for the end?
They're going to go for it. They
They're
only have 2
going
minions.
for the end. 30 seconds left in the Zelda buff. Can they go for it again? The hook goes out, does not connect.
Greedy.
In-nate jump on towards Refury, pops the Undying Rage. Oh, to the Nexus! They're going to win the game! Mammoth going to cause the biggest upset! How on earth? How on earth?
I don't believe it. Rocco's out of his chair. I can't believe Mammoth just won that. Defies all expectations, but listen, the thing is, they were never losing. There was never a point in that game where they were actually losing. They let the scaling team scale, but they still out-team fought. They still won the 5v5. They took it to Pentanet where they're the strongest and they beat them, Skibby. And no one but Matt could have seen that coming.
Phenomenal. simply mesmerizing.
We have this brains trust, right, on the LCO. You know, like, we got like some challenger player. I don't know, we've got some guys here that have been casting this game for years. And then you got this bronze idiot who still knows when these upsets are going to happen. And you better believe, Mammoth, I was there with him for the whole damn ride. Refury in mid, the biggest gap you're going to see this year. Oh my lord, I was so happy to see a bloody upset. And yes, Max back in contention on the predictions. That's all it took. One game, one beautiful game just like that. And we're back, and Mammoth, they are on the board. Oh, look, you guys mentioned during Champ Select that Tron the Pom needed to have something going on there with the AP. And boy, he had so much impact this game, Rusty.
I mean, he had a fantastic game for himself. It was a free top lane. He got to scale, and that's everything a Vladimir wants, right? Hit those team fights. And the clap back from Tron from week 1 to 2 was phenomenal. Great showing from the top laner of Mammoth. Great showing from the team overall as a whole as well. I think Rocco much improved in his own right, playing the Hook Champion's voice. Looked comfortable on the center. Refury, we can't speak about it enough, had a fantastic performance. He was just playing Yuri for a fool in the side lanes, getting picks. He wasn't playing for the side lane win condition. They still tried to take it to them in team fights, but listen, the only one they lost was still a winnable fight, and it was just a slight mechanics max from the side of PGG. This last fight, I don't think if I was to come up with a single reason, Mac, it would just be the comp. I know that PGG are a new team, that they've just come together, they're speaking multiple languages, but if you're watching your minimap, you saw that Vladimir, so it's exceptional that flank works from Mammoth, and full credit to them, but it's still shaky from PGG to say the least.
Well, I think they were more surprised in that moment in particular that he just went in. Like, they probably didn't expect Mammoth, even though they were up that far, to have the confidence just to jump on 5 of the PGG members. And then they were just like, oh wow, oh shit, he's done it. Oh, well, what do we do? What do we do? Oh, well, we're dead. GG. And it was nuts. What a game. Look, Yuri, he still did a lot in mid, even though I did say he got gapped. If you're looking at the gold difference, he had the most, I believe, in the whole damn game. Another cool stat as well, Senna Voice ended up with 119 stacks at the end as well. So he was dishing huge damage. And look, Senna, OP at the moment in the current iteration of the patch. This is just one of those things as well where you're looking at the almost Exodia that PGG put together, and they couldn't pull it off. They had the cards, they were just trying to put them down, but missing the board, just stumbling. And it all, I'm guessing, boils down to team comms. Rogue used that excuse already in the interview for last week when they had a bit of a shaky one. But how many shaky ones is it going to take before they start to iron out the creases, Skimmy?
It's really weird for me because, typically speaking, we see situations like this happen where, a team at the top of the table usually is just stomping them out in 20 minutes flat, making it look so damn easy. But this team here have shown that we're newly promoted. We've been scattered out for a reason. Yes, week 1 was shaky, but here we've taken on all the big dogs and we've had enough of losing. We've simply just had enough of losing. Take us seriously. We'll pick a matchup. You can lock in the Corki. We don't care. Yep. I'll pick the Tryndamere. We've got the scaling it, top it and bot. I mean, that Tryndamere was simply... It's nightmares.
And listen, Mammoth aside real quick, Mac, I think that Peace showed how to play that composition and Pentanet showed how not to play that composition. I think that's a really important dichotomy that we got from it because Peace played passively, they played safely, they scaled, they hit the team fights when they were scaled, they won the game. It looked clean. PGG were fighting early, they were fighting often, they were losing team fights. Look what happened.
look, you've seen how much excitement we've had just watching the damn game, but imagine people playing in it. Fortunately, we have Kitty here to speak to one of those players. I think you have Tron down on the sidelines, don't you?
Hey guys, I am literally shocked at how good that game was. I did not expect a Mammoth win, and it was so hard to choose between the players because they all played so well, but I do have Tron on the side, so let's welcome in Tron. So congrats on your first LCO win. How's the team feeling? I saw people jumping, I saw people yelling. What about you?
Well, I was just like the team. Everyone is just so ecstatic at that win. Like, at first we weren't expecting it, but we saw our draft and we were confident we could make it work. We just, the feeling is unlike anything else, really.
Like Rusty said, you guys never had a point in the game where you guys were losing, so, you know, congrats. Winning throughout the entire game, no upsets. And let's talk about you playing the dragon fights. So you had a very major role in terms of flanks, and obviously you were versing a level 16 Corki with package for that Elder Drake and Soul. What were the comms like during those fights?
Well, the comms were, we just had to get a flank. If we didn't get a flank, then it was so much harder to play a fight. But like, we've been practicing and we set up properly this time, and we were finally able to get those proper flanks off, and it just made life a lot easier.
Yeah, even though Fury was 6-0 at one point on the Tryndamere, I think in the later game, you were definitely the difference maker in those teamfights, because Vladimir late game, tons of damage, and you knew how to apply that damage in the teamfights. So, what's the plan now that you've beaten one of the top teams in the LCO?
The plan is, I think everyone on my team just wants to keep the ball rolling. We've shown the potential that we have. Like, we're 5 players fresh out of amateur, but we're still beating all these like seasoned pros, and everyone is just really excited to get into it and just try to keep this ball rolling.
Well, I believe in you guys. I put Mammoth above Gravitas. I think you guys do have potential, especially from all the young players. Well, congrats on your win, and have a good night, Tron.
Thank you.
Good to hear just how excited all of these individuals are. And Tron, look, played spectacularly there in the top lane. Winterer, didn't expect that to happen. I think Tron got first blood, right, when he got dove and then managed to let the tower do the heavy hitting
dive.
Yeah.
That was messy.
He had some great mechanics that game as well. There were so many moments where he was just the focus of PGG, and he was just dodging everything, going golden, flashing perfectly. Like, his mechanics were on point. He was like the juiciest piece of bait, and also just able to initiate so damn well. Either way, player of the game wasn't that man. It was the big man in mid with the gap, with the kills, with a whole lot of action. It's Fury for the player of the game, Skimmy.
And it feels weird, right, to say that he only did 15% of the damage overall, because it just looked like every time he was on the screen, he was just one-shotting people.
Yeah.
Unreal. Really, really great performance from Fury. Just to say, I'm not afraid of what you're playing, either the player themselves or the pick itself. They hit it with some early aggression. They found a matchup that worked for them, and he wasn't afraid to take those chances, and it snowballed well. Yes, you can nitpick and say, oh, it could have been cleaner, it could have been better, they could have split push, and it could have looked a whole bunch nicer in the end, but they stuck to their guns, they stuck to their play style. It's got them this far, and now they've taken down one of the big dogs in the region. And as Tron said, you know, where do you go from here? Can they take down more? Can they build a bit of a legacy for Mammoth for 2022?
All of those questions definitely going to be answered in the coming weeks. Now, the question for this team is consistency. Yes, they've pulled off an upset, but how often are they going to be able to do it? And at what point do these wins turn away from upsets into maybe expected results, maybe more contested games? We'll see that happen as the split goes on, but for now, it's definitely an upset, and you can't take the glory away from them. Now, not only did they have the player of the game, I'm just going to throw this one out there. They also had the play of the day, which is huge. It was the team fight around the dragon. It was when Tron managed to pull off a triple. It was just so well played. The fact that he's walked over 2 wards to get into this position, PGG going, he's nothing, don't worry about him. Group up for him, and he just jumps straight on top. Complete ridiculousness here, Rust.
Yeah, I mean, that was the game-deciding moment, right? It's the 8k damage flank from Tron doing exactly what the team needed, because this is the fight where they actually weather the Refury storm, you know? It's someone else had to step up huge. Tron delivers and gives Mammoth the juiciest dub, and I think we could honestly say in advance maybe the biggest upset of the entire year already.
Yeah.
In the LCO, in
It
week
feels that
2.
way. It really does feel that way, doesn't it? It's just criminal. I just couldn't find the words for it in the moment, but you just don't see results like this.
Oh, we've lost him.
Max DC, no. Wait, are we the
Hey,
host
so
now?
as long as he's DC'd on that like half smile, we're good. You know what I mean? It's a good look. It's a good look. Oh, he's back.
Oh, welcome back. Welcome
I was
back.
just hiding. I got way too excited. I think I whacked my computer just out of full. I wanted to be the Mammoth, you know, channel it. Now, what I was saying was, it boils down. You know, it was a diamond in the rough. It might have been an odd result, but we'll see if that changes going forward. The question for me is, how is PGG going to turn around from this? Because they were champions in Split 1 last year, and it takes a championship mindset to bounce back from little upsets like this. Yes, they were also the team that copped the upset against Gravitas at the end of Split 1 before they went to MSI. So, you know, sometimes they do a little bit of trolling, but I don't think that was happening today at all, Kitty.
Well, obviously, we've seen teams like Order from previous years. They have bounced back from a 5th place to a 2nd place. So I'm not too worried about PGG just quite yet, although obviously they did have 2 pretty average games, not performing the best. So what can I say? The better team wins tonight.
The better team did win. Tusks up in chat for all your Mammoth fans out there. And speaking of fans, we got content from the fans as well. You guys did pull through. You sent in a couple of memes, and we got Jabby coming through with what is going on, Mammoth, smurfing against Pentanet, LCO, Tusks up, Rocco, Mullet, Diff. Great game, by the way. Just want to point that one out. Pokemon Legends Arceus. Beautiful, beautiful.
That's so good.
How good is that? And I'm glad it's not a spoiler for me because I've been up to that part in the game.
Mullet Diff. Important. It's powerful, man.
It is. He was so stoked at the end. You can see the player cams, they're all popping off. But Rocco, he was right up out of his chair, just running around the room. As expected, that is a celebration you need to hold on to because, like, they might not come too often, but we'll see. We'll see if that storyline trends forward, going deeper into the split. Anyway, let's have a look at where all the teams are currently sitting after today's games, because with that win, Mammoth are no longer on the bottom of the scoreboard. They're up, tied with Direwolves, Pentanet, and Kanga. They are in the conversation, Rusty.
That's playoffs.
Yeah.
Remember, they're currently in playoffs. Oh, it's so good, though. Not much else to say on that.
Yeah, it's so good to see. 2 undefeated teams still. Chiefs almost with a hiccup of their own today, and we might have also seen Gravitas in a tied 4th position. Crazy how it's all unfolding, but only Gravitas now with that egg on the left, even though they did turn a couple of heads in the early game today. We'll see if they're going to be able to pull that one off tomorrow. And look, I guess, Skimmy, anything you want to highlight here other than the obvious upset that happened?
Obviously, yeah, upset is phenomenal. But I'm looking at the top of the table between these 2 teams. Anything can happen, as we've just seen tonight. You look at them taking on each other in week number 3, but they've got some very tough opponents to take on tomorrow as well. So the ladder might take shape a lot quicker than we imagined.
Yeah, week 2, day 1 is out of the way, which means week 2, day 2, which is tomorrow, is coming up. And the games that we're going to be watching all together are some spicy ones. PGG and Direwolves, both 1 and 2, both looking to get out of that 4th position, kicking off the day with a banger. Second game of the day as well, going to be nuts with Kanga up against Chiefs. Order Peace, another banger on the cards. If Peace play like they did today, Order, I'm worried for them, but they also look spectacular today, so who knows who's going to have the better form after Peace have their Chinese New Year celebrations tonight. And the final game of the day, Mammoth and Gravitas. Now, I'm thinking there might be a specific favourite I'm looking towards in that matchup. Kitty, which game are you looking at as the banger of the day?
Well, in my opinion, I think Peace vs Order is probably going to be a close one.
Yeah.
The PGG vs Direwolves, I thought it was an obvious win for PGG, but from their past games, I think it's not going to be as easy as I thought. And obviously, the last game, banger, absolute banger.
Yeah, beautiful. A great way to round out the day. See if Mammoth can show that they bring the consistency to the Rift, or can Gravitas crack the egg and leave all the teams with finally a win on the board just after 2 weeks, which means we got a spicy split on our hands, Rusty.
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, tomorrow is going to be an absolute banger of an entire day, so I'm super pumped for that one already. And listen, if this is the way we're going, this split's going to be sick.
And look, I'll tell you how to get there quickly is we just end today. We close it, we get out of here, we go have cold showers, go to sleep. The faster you get in the bed, the faster tomorrow comes. Be here, don't bloody miss it. Make sure your exclamation mail in chat and you can maybe have a giveaway or something. Follow on Twitch so you don't miss the games because there's 4 bangers. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Danny's going to sidestep it all. Now popping a dominance, in they run. Corporal lands the ultimate, and there is the call of the fall shot. It goes the wrong way. They're putting on to kiss. They search gauge is so huge. He streaks it around. Oh, the corn trigger was enough to shut that all on point. He picks up here by Lena. He dies. He falls on down. Byron's massive. He's got a triple. He has found a triple kill. The Titan in the top lane. 4-0-1.
Ultimate's the flash kill there from the Rakan. Zonas might force summon as Rakan could find the follow-up. Direwolves are going.
Oh, look at that. The one coming out once again. You're not there to try and turn things around. Chan has the ideal weapon set up to get these kills. They found 2 so far. Direwolves have done it, but they can't find any kills to capitalize with it. This Lee Sin is out of control. 5-0-2. And they aren't showing any signs of slowing down. They want the clean ace. They won't find it. They're going to get denied by Frost, who finds the chief bot lane.
Yeah, and the other thing worth highlighting is that mid-trade. Still volatile, actually fights on.
And it's still on, isn't it? Now Tally searching for that gold card, turns his attention on towards Foreigner. The Sonic Wave, the flash to connect! Surely he's dead! No way! And Tally can't dive! It's a boon though. He's on the angle as well. Is this going to become a 50-50 flip? The Drake is held in suspension down to 2k. It's going to get reset. Out goes the fight. And both the Eddie carries explode into life. Raze gets a double. Now Tapoon finds enough.
Now, Book misses. They're being played before.
Rocco in trouble. Glacial Fisher comes out. Mega Death Rocker doesn't confirm a kill. The Baron is still there. It doesn't get stolen. Mayfon secures it. Mammoth at the Baron. Can they now win this team fight? John the Pump goes golden. 2 members low. Lots of AoE cleave goes out, but Instincts, they get the first kill. Corgi gets the second.